podcast.
Welcome to MeatEater Trivia, the only game show where conservation always wins. I'm your host, Spencer Neuharth, and today we're joined by Janis, Cal, Brody, Randall, Seth, Hanzi, Cory, and Nate. This is a 10-round quiz show with questions from MeatEater's 4 verticals, which are hunting, fishing, conservation, and cooking. And there is a prize. MeatEater will donate $500 to the conservation organization of the winner's choosing. And for the stat of the week this week, we're looking at the performance of Phil's episode of Not MeatEater Trivia. If you'll recall, Phil did cinema trivia 2 weeks ago, and the audience has spoken. Phil's episode got 32% more views on YouTube than the average episode of trivia. Yeah, give him some claps. There we go.
Way to go, Phil.
By those numbers, I think we can officially declare Phil the best guest host and put me on the hot seat.
Oh.
Phil.
Did Phil also do his own jingles for his own episode?
I don't think he had any jingles. He had a different intro,
I had a custom
right?
intro, Game of Thrones themed intro.
It was a whole experience.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that you, Spencer Neuharth, the host, are just immediately assuming that it's just the host on the episode. Obviously, people just tune in for the host, so it's all Phil.
We're pumping
There's other
up
people
Phil
in the
here.
room, bud.
Well, I think there's some caveats that come with that. One is that I had a handful of visual questions, so I think some of those viewers probably came over from the podcast, possibly, but also neither of us hold a candle to Shelby. So I think she's the one you got to look out for.
That one's like doubled our regular page views.
Calls coming from inside the house there.
But Phil needs to do more trivia, the audience has told us. Maybe next time, Phil, we can do some, media-related trivia. And it has just like one thread connected to the MeatEater universe.
I'd love to do it again.
Okay.
So I'll
Hey, you're telling Phil how to do his job now, Spencer?
I'm telling him how to do my job. Yeah.
Do we see a future? You know how MTV used to be music, television, videos, and then it transformed into what it is now? I mean, MeatEater in 10 years, 5 years?
We could just have our own Jersey Shore.
It could be Media Eater.
Well, Phil, what did you name it? You said it was when you took over the company. What was it going to be?
It's going to be called Game Beater, which, I think I could use a couple more passes.
Now, here's our infrequently asked question segment. If you have a trivia-related question for our crew, send it to trivia@themeateater.com with the subject line IFAQ. Tate Green says, if we keep sending the same question, does it have better odds of getting picked? And he sent me that question 3 times on December 12, 13, and 16. Well, Tate, it got me to read your IFAQ, so in this case it helped. Normally I'm a few months behind in the inbox, so if you send me a question in January and you don't hear it by May, send it again. If you think it's a really good question and I made a mistake and it should be in the show, just wait a few months and then send me that question again. Your best way to get picked, though, just send me a phenomenal question. That's your best odds of getting the show. And if it's a phenomenal question and you're convinced that it should be on MeatEater Trivia, then wait, a quarter and then send it to me again, and we'll see what happens.
Having spent some time in the inbox, I think another piece of advice is include the answer to your question.
That's
whenever I'm reviewing
Wait
those,
a minute.
That's helpful.
What are you doing in the inbox?
guest hosting.
When you guest host, you get access to
Me
the
too.
inbox
That's
for
true.
a month.
But there's
I smell a rat.
a handful of, it's not uncommon to see someone sends in a question and the subject line is the question and then there's no answer. Mm-hmm. And it's unclear whether they want you to include that in the game or provide them with something that's been bugging them that they don't know.
Some people will ask too if it helps to send flavor text, and I would say 30% of our people who write in will send their flavor text.
I would appreciate the flavor text.
It helps in that it may inspire a different question. So the question you sent may not work for MeatEater Trivia, but your flavor text, a paragraph of text, can have something in there that I can mine to use on the show. So flavor text does help you, but it's not necessary.
Spencer, I almost went casual camo this morning. And so it's a coincidence.
It's getting cold outside, man.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with wearing camouflage?
Well, a lot of my warmest gear, like any good Midwesterner, happens to be in camo print.
Got it.
Yeah. Now, in a previous episode of Trivia, we had a question about the auto hook setting ice fishing device with an alliterative name that's been banned in Minnesota. The correct answer was Jawjacker. But Bryce Jaglinski wrote in to say that there's another piece of gear that would work for the correct answer. The
Jig Linsky. That's ice fishing.
Midwesterner for sure.
Oh, it's even more Midwestern than that. Bryce said that he is the fishing teacher at a school in Wisconsin.
Oh, awesome.
The what?
Man, that
fishing
dude,
teacher.
he needs to let me know when he's going to retire.
You want that job? Let me tell you what Bryce had to say. The finicky fooler will also hook for you, has an alliterative name, and is banned in Minnesota. So the Bryce is right. And if you said finicky fooler like him, then you also got that one correct. So it could be Jawjacker or finicky fooler.
I saw a Jawjacker at Murdoch's the other day. It reminded me of my defeat in that episode.
What was your answer?
Seth is the only guy I know who owns one.
I got one.
I got a couple
You boys ever use them?
all the time.
And?
Love them.
Okay.
Yeah, when you can drill a shitload of holes in a state like Wyoming, there's no reason not to have one. You know,
You'd reach for that instead of just a standard tip up though every time?
depends what you're doing.
Okay.
Like tip up, like like Canyon Ferry, where you're fishing in 40 feet of water. Tip ups are kind of a pain, but I use them both.
All right, now the Shelby index for today is a 5, so I'm putting us on perfect score alert. With that, we're on to the game of trivia. Play the drop, Phil.
Look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything.
Game on, suckers!
Question 1, the topic is woodsmanship, and this will be multiple choice. Which of these states does not have a 14er? No! Is it Washington, Colorado, California, or Idaho?
Why do I always get the markers that are out of juice?
All right, throw that one by the door, and that one is going to leave this room. It's going to go right in the garbage. Oh, no, not that one.
No, that one was dead.
Oh, okay, and Randall's going to find some new markers.
Yeah, I'm all tangled up in the wires.
I like
here,
that
though.
blue one you got in your hand there, Randall.
Again, question 1, the topic is woodsmanship. Which of these states does not have a 14er? 3 of them have a 14er, 1 of them does not. Is it Washington, Colorado, California, or Idaho?
Rocky Mountain High.
Okay. Randall, the quickest answer. Do you know this one?
You'd be
I
mad
do.
if
I
someone
could-
else said that, Brody.
I could tell you the high points in each of these states and their approximate elevations.
Why do you know that?
Because I love mountains.
Just to be good at trivia.
Yeah.
Again,
The high
Washington,
points.
Colorado, California, or Idaho. Which of those
I could give
states
you 3, Randall.
does not have a 14er? Is everybody ready?
Actually, Colorado, I'm not sure.
Oh, what happened?
I
there?
take back
you
my
got
boast.
tested.
I take back my
Okay.
boast.
You mean you're not sure what the high point is?
Yeah.
Is everybody ready? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Cal saying Idaho. Janis says Washington. Seth, Idaho. Randall, Idaho. Cory, Idaho. Hanzi, Washington. Nate, California. Brody, Idaho. The correct answer is Idaho. About half of the room got that one right. 14ers are mountains with an elevation over 14,000 feet. There are 96 in America, which are all found in Alaska, Colorado, Washington, and California. The tallest mountain in Idaho is
Mount Bora.
Bora Peak, which has an elevation of
13
Yeah.
12,662. So Idaho does not have a 14er.
I was a little nervous about the Tetons. How close are the Tetons?
I
into
looked up
Wyoming?
the tallest peak in Wyoming is only about
12
20
something.
feet shy
Oh,
of
they're not
being
14.
a 14er.
But that's not the Tetons, is it? I
don't
think that's
remember.
in the
It's
Wind
winds,
River.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
remember
okay.
what it was, but I didn't feel good about making
Fremont.
Idaho a choice when it was only 20 feet away from being a 14er, so I went with Idaho.
And Montana's not a 14er state either,
No.
right?
No.
We're,
It's only
we're
4 of 'em.
13 something.
Granite.
12 something.
Granite's 12, I think.
Is it? Yeah.
Question 2, the topic is conservation. This next great question is via Justin Mathiasen. Also known as a controlled burn, the U.S. Forest Service defines this as, quote, A planned fire used to meet management objectives. Also known as a
Quiet in here.
controlled burn, the U.S. Forest Service defines this as, quote, a planned fire used to meet management objectives.
Does our in-house forester have it, Seth?
If I'm reading the question right, I think.
It's also known as a controlled burn. The U.S. Forest Service defines this as a planned fire used to meet management objectives. About half of the room has come up with their answer. Brody, you have this one right?
Oof, I don't know. I mean, I know I've heard this term used before, but I don't know if it's what you're looking for.
Okay. This is question 2.
Did you come up with this question?
This was via Justin Mathiasen.
You know you got a good one. It gets real quiet in the room,
wow.
Spencer.
We still have some blank whiteboards.
I think Forest Service expert Seth over there got it right away.
Seth,
Why am I Forest Service expert?
Well, you worked for
were you ever employed by them?
Forester.
Not Forest Service, no.
Have you done one
Well,
of
you were
these?
on a fire crew, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the private sector.
Yeah. And you
You guys were like
forestry.
contractors for the Forest Service?
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, also known as a controlled burn,
See what you got, Seth.
the U.S. Forest Service defines this as a planned fire used to meet management objectives. This is question 2. The topic is conservation. This is a tough start for our players looking for a perfect game.
Yeah, I don't
What was the Shelby Index?
5.
Oh.
So, I think someone in here has a 10 in them today.
Not Yanni.
Not Janis. Went with the backwards hat today on a Tuesday.
Of all days.
Of all days, a Tuesday.
Please
Wear
tell
a
me
backwards
Is
hat.
that not okay?
You've asked me before. You're always like, "Oh, backwards hat today, huh, Spencer?" and then I feel like my answer to you is like, "Yeah, it's like Thursday energy."
And
Like,
it's
yeah,
a camo hat.
Yeah, casual camo backwards on a Tuesday
On a Tuesday.
in January. January's got to have like the worst Tuesdays that there are. I'd say.
Yeah, he does kind of look like he's getting ready to drink a beer on the beach.
Yep. Yep. Now Yanni sees it. Excuse me, Brody sees it.
There's a lot of like, what's good, fellow kids energy.
He's saying
I don't know what that
Steve
is.
Steve Buscemi from, was it 30 Rock?
Yeah.
Does everyone have an answer for question 2?
30 Rock. I like that show.
Not the answer.
Which character?
Steve Buscemi plays, what is it, a private investigator?
Yeah, and
in that show?
he goes undercover at a high school, but he looks like Steve Buscemi, but he's got a skateboard and a hoodie and like a backwards hat on or something.
Is everybody ready? Go ahead
Oh, no, I never.
and reveal your answers. What's that say, Cal?
Oh, I think
Blackbird.
Brody's right.
Backbird.
Randall gets points for creativity.
Giannis says prescribed burn. Seth, prescribed burn. Randall, deliberate
Conflagration.
Cory, prescribed burn.
Yeah, you know what I meant.
Hanzi, slash burn. Nate, fire, blaze, dragon, Charizard. Brody, prescribed burn. The correct answer is prescribed fire or prescribed burn.
I was going for something without burn in it.
Oh, I know.
Prescribed
These
fire
things where it like
or-
uses so many common terms always jack me up.
If
That
too
was
many
stupidly
years,
easy.
if too many years pass without a fire, an agency may use a prescribed fire to help the health of an ecosystem. Some of the benefits of controlled burns include minimizing the spread of pests, providing forage for animals, recycling nutrients back into the soil, and promoting the growth of new plants. The Forest Service also says one of the best ways to minimize wildfires is by using prescribed fires.
I do want to say that a backburn is technically correct because if your management objective is to slow down a fire or stop a fire, a backburn is
You
what
can
you
do
would
that
use.
in a prescribed burn.
That's right.
Question 3, the
So
topic
did I
is
get a
fishing.
point there?
We're not going to give it to you.
Well, let's go through the Forest Service manual.
Oh boy.
When I was at Fort Stewart, I was on this list of they would send out what training areas were getting burned, and I'd get like 5 emails a day like prescribed burn, prescribed burn, prescribed burn.
Instead, you said Charizard.
More people should be doing that, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Question
Burn
3.
your property.
The topic is fishing. Encyclopedia Britannica defines this as, quote, brown algae that grows as large coastal seaweeds in colder seas.
Nope.
Question 3, another stumper for our crew. Encyclopedia Britannica defines this as brown algae that grows as large coastal seaweeds in colder seas. Brody with an answer. How do you feel about your answer, Brody?
Excellent.
How about you, Seth?
I like your little Archer man, Nate.
I'm just thinking of brown shit that grows up in Alaska.
Okay.
I don't deserve it. I should erase it.
Oh, boy. Brody did not like that hint. Brown algae
Well,
that
it's a cold
grows
sea.
as large coastal
Sure, that's the
seaweeds
answer.
in colder seas. Seth now has
Well,
the
what
other
I'm thinking
players
of,
thinking.
what I'm thinking of, I don't know if it's considered algae.
Okay.
I don't know.
Again, question 3. The topic is fishing. Encyclopedia Britannica defines this as brown algae that grows as large coastal seaweeds in colder seas. Brody, do you think Seth said too much?
I do.
Okay.
Way too much.
Way too much. Did it help
I
anybody?
didn't think it was a hint that
Okay.
saying that Alaska was cold.
Yeah, keep going.
Seth, what did you think of my answer?
I dig that answer.
All right.
Okay, you two, Randall and Seth, agree on what it might be. Is everybody ready? Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Cal says bull kelp, Janis, bull kelp, Seth, kelp, Randall, kelp, Cory, kelp, Hanzi, kelp, forest, Nate, kelp, Brody, kelp. Everybody got it. The correct answer is kelp or kelp forest.
Better than my original answer of snot.
Contrary to popular belief, kelp is a type of algae, not a type of plant. That means they have holdfasts instead of roots, blades instead of leaves, and a stipe instead of a stem. Kelp provides critical habitat for many fish and marine mammals.
You know what else it's good for?
What's that?
Kids turning it into whips and beating each other with it.
I was just gonna say, the kids in Alaska get more entertainment out of kelp than anything else.
Every day they come back with it, beat each other, make like water rockets out of it.
Eat it. Yeah.
Question 4. The topic is natural history, and this next great question is via Aaron Welsh. This female name is also what you call fossilized tree resin. A lot of our players quick to answer. They're getting their confidence back.
You got any of this in your fossil collection, Spencer?
I do. I did not find it, though. It was given to me.
Female name.
Dr. Henry Wu knows
I know. I'm
something
so
about
glad
this.
Steve's not here, so we don't have to go down the what's a female name, Spencer.
I'd like to hear him argue about this. This female name is also what you call fossilized tree resin.
What's the category?
Natural history. Is everybody ready?
Did you just get
What's
that
so
one,
funny
Phil?
over there, Phil?
Corey just he's got some questions, I guess.
Are you ready, Cory?
Yeah.
Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Cal and Yanni saying amber. Seth, without an answer. Randall says amber. Cory says pitch. Hanzi, Nate, and Brody say amber. They got it. The correct answer is amber. Amber is often translucent with a hint of brown, yellow, or orange. Famously, it was the catalyst for creating Jurassic Park. Here is a 1-minute video of the movie where the park's mascot, Mr. DNA, describes Amber's role in dinosaur cloning. Play the clip, Phil.
Once again, apologies to the YouTube audience.
DNA strain. Dino DNA.
Is this a young Brett Reeves doing the voice?
There were like 4 different regional accents in that voice.
Real scientists have tried
Sophisticated
replicating Dr. John Hammond's work from Jurassic Park, but are still unsuccessful. So I do have a piece of amber, and it does have a bug in it.
No way.
I do, but
Did you buy it?
I did not find it. No, it was given to me from a fossil collector in Utah.
No,
Question
no
5.
Latvia in the flavor text. I'm surprised.
What's Latvia?
One of the world's top amber producers.
Oh, okay.
As
There you
we
go.
all know.
I was waiting for you to pitch in with that. Question 5, the topic is hunting.
No pun intended.
This Kentucky bourbon fittingly got its name after a distillery executive went on his annual bird hunt in 1940. This Kentucky bourbon fittingly got its name after a distillery executive went on his annual bird hunt in 1940. This is question 5. We will get a scoreboard update from Phil after this. Who are our bourbon or whiskey drinkers in the room?
Oof, not me.
Cory and Hanzi.
I drink it, but there's nothing
It's not
fancy about
like,
it.
yeah.
So,
Hanzi, you got this one right?
I don't think so, but I'm going to take a guess.
Okay. Cory, do you have this one right?
Man, I sure hope so.
Okay.
There's another game bird themed whiskey that I'm thinking of, but I'm not sure if it's a bourbon.
This Kentucky bourbon fittingly got its name after a distillery executive went on his annual bird hunt in 1940. Okay, Hanzi, one of our whiskey experts, going back to his whiteboard. Hanzi also a sommelier.
I wish. Taking donations to do that homework.
Yeah, you got to take
research.
classes for that, right?
Oh, it's a big deal.
Yep.
Cory, if you have this one right, have you had this bourbon?
Yeah, lots of it.
What do you think of it?
I have a hard
one
time
you reach for?
tasting the difference between
Okay.
it all, honestly. It all tastes good out of your ski jacket.
Hanzi, if you have this one right, do you have a review of this bourbon?
Like a number? Like a
Sure, yeah.
Like
I
a
love
number
on a scale of 1 to 10, sure.
Yeah, I
Negative 5 to 5.
I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that.
Are you going to tell us? Or
I had to switch it up because I think I put a scotch on there first.
okay.
Oh, did I give
was
that
getting
away?
like
Scotch.
Damn.
This Kentucky bourbon fittingly got its name after a distillery executive went on his annual bird hunt
You
in
look puzzled, Cal.
1940.
I don't know what it is.
Did you grow up skiing drunk?
Technically,
I
no.
always just like heard of people doing it, but we just never did it for some reason.
What's that? Drinking and skiing?
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta have a little nerp on the chairlift sometimes.
Were you doing something else up there?
Yeah. Yanni had those
Doing something
lefties
else
with
up
him.
there? No. You used to do that dangerous backcountry stuff, so you couldn't afford to.
Yeah.
Growing up skiing drunk, to me, I envisioned toddlers immediately. It gave me a very interesting visual.
They look like they're
You
drunk.
grew up in a
just
state,
doing the-
though, where people ski in
Doing the
jeans.
pizza down
Oh,
the
yeah.
hill.
Straight down.
Taking shots.
You sit at the chairlift, and it's like watching bowling from the perspective of the
300
pins.
feet of
Just
vertical straight to the bottom.
Carhartt, 60 miles an hour into the lift line.
Is everybody ready?
Hey, y'all, watch out.
Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Cal saying bird dog. Janis says wild turkey. He crossed out bird dog. Seth, wild turkey. Randall, wild turkey. Cory, wild turkey. Hanzi, wild turkey. Nate, buffalo trace. Brody, wild turkey. The correct answer is wild turkey. The room did very well.
How often, when you go turkey hunting, Spencer, like just, what are you going to do this weekend? Do you say, I'm going bird hunting?
Yeah.
I'm going on my annual bird hunt. Just a question.
I think 6 of our 8 players got that right. I feel good about the wording.
Yeah, that's
and
why
if
I wrote
If I
buffalo.
would have given you
Hey,
any
you know
more
what?
details,
Don't answer the question.
Hanzi, what were you going
I would not say I'm going
gonna
bird
say-
hunting, but it wouldn't be wrong.
my first
I'm
thought
going
was
to
famous
start now.
grouse.
That's
Cal.
what I was-
And I was like, because the annual bird hunt thing
I was,
was like,
I was picturing the bottle.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I couldn't come up with the name.
And
That distillery executive said his buddies in camp loved the bourbon he brought with him, so they named it after the bird they were hunting. Other liquors with birdie names include Redbreast, Famous Grouse, Gray Goose, Kentucky Owl, Old Crow, and Eagle Rare.
Old Crow will make you fight
To be
a man.
fair, Cal, I was just thinking,
my
and
dad's favorite,
oftentimes
Old
when you're
Crow.
turkey hunting, you'll be like, found some birds,
Got a
or
bird.
didn't find any
Oh,
birds,
wow.
or heard some birds.
So, same question to you. It's spring. You're out doing stuff.
Well,
I say, Brody, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm just
And
saying.
You say we're going
yeah.
on our annual bird
I'm
hunt.
with
If he
Giannis.
had-
I'm
if
gonna
he had
start
said-
saying it.
If he'd said when he went on his annual turkey hunt in 1940, would you have gotten
That'd
it?
be too easy.
I think I would have been warmer.
Hanzi, what's your review of Wild Turkey bourbon?
I think it's a totally serviceable bourbon. Put it at a 3.5, 3.75 out of a 5.
Oh, okay.
If we're talking like,
Uh-huh.
if we're talking like Colonel E.H. Taylor is like a 4.5, and Pappy Van Winkle being a 5. I put
Okay.
Wild Turkey in that 3 territory solidly. Serviceable, excellent. I'm gonna put Old Crow down at like 2, and like
Right
some
up
of
there
those-
with Northern Lights.
What about Jim
but
Beam
Old Crow
Green
comes in a
Label?
glass bottle.
That's
Glass bottle. If we put a
about.
plastic bottle, we're going 1.
Oh,
That's
wow.
like vodka with caramel
Okay.
coloring in it. So
I'm going to write more bourbon questions just so we can get your commentary.
Yeah, that was
on
great.
Have you had Pappy before?
I have never had Pappy, so
Okay.
I shouldn't. But it's one of those like it's the price. Come on, but again, taking donations here. If you want me to find out what a 5 is like, please. My
Phil?
desk is open.
Phil, we're halfway through the game. Give us a scoreboard update.
There we are. Yeah, it's a pretty close
My
game, all
God.
things considered. We've got Nate in last place with 2. Coming up next are Cal and Hanzi with 3 points apiece. Then all tied up are Cory, Janis, Seth, and Randall with 4. And in first place, it's a perfect game for Brody Henderson.
Wow. Again, this was supposed to be a tournament episode today, but Steve couldn't make it, so we had to punt on that. But the room is
Well,
filled
this would be a stressful tournament
with some
episode.
heavy hitters.
Are we still doing a tournament?
We're going to do
in
it
2024?
at a certain point. If we can't make it happen with Steve's schedule, we're just going to play it without him. And I'll figure out an alternative to still get Steve involved because he is the defending champion. Question 6. The topic is biology. This next great question is via Joe Mason. Platypus and blank are the only mammals that lay eggs.
Oh, boy.
Platypus and blank are the only mammals that lay eggs. The room is stressed again, except for maybe Randall. Randall, do you have this one right?
I believe so.
Randall is confident. Brody, who has the perfect game going, is tapping the whiteboard against the bill of his hat.
We need one.
Can you picture it, Brody?
Oh, yeah.
You know the animal. You just can't find its name. Platypus and blank are the only mammals that lay eggs. This is question 6. The topic is biology. Seth now going to his whiteboard.
It's a tough little game here. I wouldn't have guessed that it was a 5 on the old index.
Did well. Seth, how do you feel about your answer?
I honestly have no clue. I just wrote something down.
Platypus and blank
Give us a hint, Spencer.
are the only, here's your hint, they're the only mammals that lay eggs.
Phil, do I know this?
Spencer, can I give a Phil hint that won't help anybody?
Let's not do
Yeah.
that. If you're certain, Phil, it will not help any of the 8 players in the room, then I'd say go for it.
I feel good about that, though. No, don't do it. Yep, do it.
I
I know what you're gonna say.
I don't think you do.
If it were to help somebody,
I think I do.
It would be Randall, and Randall already has his answer.
Well, honestly, it's a hint that might actually throw people off because they might think they might know that.
Yeah, but they don't. Do it.
They don't.
But they don't. Do it.
We're gonna say hold off on the hint.
Okay.
It's a type of Pokemon, isn't it?
You're not far off.
We already got a Charizard.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Platypus and blank are the only mammals that lay eggs.
Which is just disgusting when you really think about it.
Yeah, we need something go extinct. These perverts.
Yeah, make up your mind.
Pick a
Jeez.
side, yeah.
Is everybody ready? Brody?
Man, come on.
Oh, I'll just write something down.
Okay, he's going to throw some letters on the board. Cory, Hanzi, you give up?
Yeah.
Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Cal and Yanni without an answer. Seth says pangolin. Randall says echidna. Cory, wallaby. Hanzi, anteaters. Nate, pangolin. Brody, wombat.
That's the word.
Randall got it. The correct answer is echidna or a spiny anteater. Now, Hanzi said anteater, but I don't think we're going to give it to
come on.
him.
Come on.
Come on. Okay, we'll give it to Hanzi.
How many anteaters are there?
Oh, we're giving it to Hanzi?
Listen, if everyone else says come on.
How many?
Randall's at threat level midnight
Say,
right now.
okay.
It's a Hanzi for sure.
How many points do you have?
How many points does Hanzi have?
Oh, sorry. Hanzi currently has 3. If we give him the point, he'll have 4.
That's
Give
fine.
it to him.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Everyone agrees. He gets
I'm not
it.
a threat here.
Again, it's an echidna,
He gets it.
a.k.a. a spiny anteater. Platypus and echidna possess other unique qualities like legs that are on their sides instead of underneath them and having just a single duct for urine, feces, and sex rather than multiple openings. Scientists say egg-laying mammals were once common but got outcompeted by marsupials about 70 million years ago.
Is it still called a cloaca? I gotta know.
Cloaca.
Cloaca? I don't know if
Unihole.
if they
I just wanted
also-
to say that word.
Platypus is also venomous.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a crazy fact.
Question 7.
Are you going to move on without our hint?
Oh, yeah. What's the hint, Phil?
Oh, I was going to say he's a very prominent antagonist in a famous video game franchise. Is
Knuckles
this animal?
from Sonic
Knuckles from
the
Sonic the
Hedgehog.
Hedgehog
Oh.
is technically an echidna,
I didn't
not
know
a
that.
hedgehog.
Wouldn't have helped me.
Yeah, exactly. But Randall got it. He knew
That's
what
why
my
I
hint
asked
was.
Phil if I knew it.
Question.
Well, the hedgehog is also something that can be venomous, but and that's same deal. But they rub venom. They eat venomous stuff and then secrete it onto their spines.
Ooh.
Question
So they're not generating the venom.
7. The topic is fishing. What American lake has a monster named Champ, whose sightings are likely just long-nosed gar and lake sturgeon? What American lake has a monster named Champ, whose sightings are likely just long-nosed gar and lake sturgeon? Brody and Randall both like their answers. Hanzi, do you have this one right?
No.
Oh, okay. Again, this is question 7. The perfect game is now over. But I think it tightened up.
This is
the
a
race
far
at
stretch.
first.
Fishing question.
Well, it says that likely just a long-nosed gar and lake sturgeon. What American lake has a monster named Champ, whose sightings are likely just a long-nosed gar and lake sturgeon? We had a question a few weeks ago about Mothman. If you can't tell right now, I'm reading a cryptids book, which has inspired a few trivia questions.
What's the definition of cryptids? Like what?
It's any animal that's not recognized by science, or something like that.
Copy.
So there are animals who were once considered cryptids that then just became accepted. Like there's a fish that we thought was extinct for 65 million
The
years.
coelacanth?
Yes, and then they found one, and then it just became an animal. So I think.
But wasn't that thing always in the fossil record? And they just it wasn't a cryptid; it was just extinct.
Sure,
thought.
but I think by like the
A cryptid's like Bigfoot.
Yes, Mothman, Champ.
I don't think coelacanth qualifies.
Is everybody ready?
The abominable snowman.
Unless there's a story of coelacanth coming in and like stealing children or something.
The chupacabra.
Chupacabra was a recent cryptid. Most of the cryptids that we hear about go back to like, I don't know, Native American lore, but the Chupacabra was like 1999.
What? Interesting.
Really?
It's not based on some.
No, at first, and it like sort of the thought of what a chupacabra is has changed. It started in Puerto Rico, where it was described as sort of an alien-like figure, and then by the time it made it to the States, in Texas, it's become like this hairless blue dog.
Yeah, I
It
just
didn't come around until the 90s.
I associate it with the Taco Bell dog. Also because it sounds like a dish you'd order at Taco Bell.
Does everyone have an answer for the American lake that has a monster named Champ, whose sightings are likely just a long-nosed gar and lake sturgeon? Go ahead and reveal your answers. Cal says Champlain. Janis says Placid. Seth, Placid. Randall, Lake Champlain. Cory and Hanzi say Lake Champlain. Nate says Okeechobee. Brody, Lake Champlain. He got it. The correct answer is
Great phonetic spelling of Okeechobee.
Lake
I thought you were doing the thing where you have all your answers to try to get one of them right.
No, same answer.
Champ has been deemed America's Loch Ness. There have been hundreds of sightings of Champ going all the way back to the Iroquois tribe. The lake monster has been described as being 15 to 50 feet long with a snake-like body and horse-like head.
Have you ever seen the...
Seth, the answer was in the question.
Well, I almost went with Champlain, but the movie Lake Placid was throwing me off.
But it wasn't on Lake Placid.
That was from...
That's a deep cut.
It is.
Well, it was
That was so frustrating. So stupid. Terrible question.
Question 8. The topic is cooking, and this next great question is via David Cervini. Merriam-Webster defines this 9-letter dish as, quote, thinly sliced raw meat or fish served with a sauce. This is question 8. We'll get another scoreboard update from Phil the engineer after this. Merriam-Webster defines this 9-letter dish as thinly sliced raw meat or fish served with a sauce. Brody, you got this one right?
I got 9 letters.
Okay. Yanni joining them. Yanni, you got this one?
I believe so.
You Pennsylvania boys ever been to Lake Champlain?
No, that's a long ways. Vermont, like
Long ways.
Vermont?
It'd be like driving to northeast Montana, right?
No,
No?
it's a haul.
Okay.
That northern spot is sneaky big.
Well, to be fair, Northeast Montana's a haul from here.
Yeah, it's like 7 hours.
Yeah, but I mean,
But we go there recreationally.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what do you think it would take, Seth, to get up to northern Vermont? Like, it's
Or
a all-day drive,
southern
wouldn't
New
it?
York, because it goes
yeah.
across both states.
Probably. Well, takes about 9 hours to
We're
get.
we're gonna
to
solve
Maine.
answer
this.
this. We can
From-
answer this.
So
is like
maybe
is
6 hours?
Is
No.
Lancaster an okay representative from?
That's
like,
way
Penn-
south.
Okay.
Okay, that'd be even longer.
From there to Lake
Lancaster?
Champlain, 6 hours 50 minutes, and that's if you're like going from southern PA.
What about from State College?
Yeah, or Erie.
State College. Again, we are on.
This is why the
question
internet
8.
ruined bar talk. You know, it really did.
Yes.
Really
Yes.
did.
Pittsburgh?
State College would be 7 hours 13 minutes, and again, that's just going to like the western side.
Erie, Pennsylvania's
Lake
got to be like
Champlain.
445.
We're
Well,
done.
that part
We're
of the
done
state.
doing distances from Pennsylvania places to Lake Champlain. Again, a
There's
9-letter
somebody
dish.
out there listening.
But
It's just
that's
like, I
like-
knew it.
And northeastern miles or time, that's way longer than Montana time. I
In
feel
what
like.
way?
It's just like
Because
tolls.
like everybody,
Probably,
like no one
dude.
thinks twice about driving 6 hours across Montana.
I know,
But,
that's
like,
why
in
I
the
would
north-
say it's a haul. Again, a 9-letter dish that's a thinly sliced raw meat or fish served with a sauce. Is everybody ready? And I bet if you're going from where we're sitting now to like northeast Montana, that's probably 6.5 hours.
But yeah,
You'd pass a lot
Glasgow,
fewer.
yeah.
You'd pass a lot fewer Burger Kings though along the way, which is how some of us measure our road trips.
Go ahead and reveal your answers. We have Cal and Yanni saying carpaccio. Seth says sashimi. Randall says carpaccio.
quite hit
Cory,
the, leather
sashimi.
allotment.
Hanzi and
Spelled it wrong,
Nate
for sure.
and Brody say carpaccio. They got it. The correct answer is carpaccio. Here's how you spell it: CarpAccio. Anybody have that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. A lot of people.
The modern version of carpaccio was created in Venice in the 1950s. It was specially made for a wealthy customer whose doctor recommended she stop eating cooked meat to learn how to make it with fish or venison. Check out Wade Trung's article on the MeatEater.com called How to Make Carpaccio.
I would love to go to that doctor.
Yeah, I know. Just thinking, wondering what else he's got in his toolbox.
Well, he was in the 1950s. So you might need a medium to talk to him. Phil, give us a scoreboard update with 2 questions to go.
Yeah, pull it up here. There she is.
Damn. Just stopped.
Yeah, I think only 2 players are out of the running here. We've got Nate with 3 and Seth with 4. But then coming up next are Cal, Janis, and Cory with 5 points apiece. Hanzi has 6, thanks to that anteater question. You guys
Look at
get
him
it?
laughing.
Now he's knocking on your door, Randall.
Yeah. And then tied up in first place are Randall and Brody with 7 points.
Question 9. The topic is conservation. The largest loggerhead sea turtle nesting site in the world is found in this state. Question 9. The topic is conservation. The largest loggerhead sea turtle nesting site in the world is found in this state. I have not seen anyone write down an answer yet. The largest loggerhead sea turtle nesting site in the world is found in this state. Yanni, how you feel about your answer?
I've seen a few loggerheads
Oh, where
fishing
at?
over the years.
Oh, you don't have to say where.
Yeah, say
where.
In,
Maybe that'll
in
help.
the ocean.
Oh, okay. Be it'd be a cryptid if you saw it anywhere else, probably.
Mm-hmm.
The largest loggerhead sea turtle nesting site in the world is found in this state.
It's popular to
Eat the eggs.
in some places.
That's what got him in trouble.
Yeah. But no, to make like a cast of the shell and then recreate it and use it in a lot of coastal places. You'll see them as, in like a beach cottage. You'll see that like a fiberglass cast of the shell. It's pretty cool.
And that's like
'cause they're big.
in your relative's beach cottage.
Oh.
So just
In
the fact
mine?
that you said beach cottage takes
The
me to a
beach.
certain place.
Yeah.
Now we know it's on the ocean.
Yeah. I was gonna say
Not
Kansas. So now
Oklahoma.
I've got to change my mind.
Is everybody ready?
No.
Randall, how do you feel about your answer?
I don't feel super confident.
Okay. Brody, who is tied for the lead with Randall, how do you feel about your answer?
I got a bunch written down. I haven't circled one yet.
Okay. Better be fixing to select one. I think we're going to flip over the boards. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Brody? Go ahead and reveal your answers. Cal says Florida. Janis, Florida. Seth, South Carolina. Randall, Georgia. Cory, South Carolina. Hanzi, South Carolina. Nate, Florida, crossed out Texas. Brody says Florida, crossed out Georgia and South Carolina. We have a correct answer in the room. It's Florida. I think 4 of our players maybe got that one right.
Snap.
There are 9 population segments of loggerhead turtles, all of which are listed as threatened or endangered by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Florida set a record in 2023 with 130,000 loggerhead nests, which is 30,000 more than the average year. The world's next largest site is located near Saudi Arabia, where about 20,000 loggerheads nest.
We were in South Carolina last summer when they were coming up on the beach laying eggs. It's cool.
Okay. Question. Here's a.
If you ever do some like real dirt bagging it in Mexico, you do have to look out for huevos de tortuga.
Yeah. They don't mind.
Yeah.
Here's the correct answer review so far before we do question 10. 1 was Idaho. 2, prescribed fire. 3, kelp. 4, amber. 5, wild turkey. 6, echidna. 7, Lake Champlain. 8, Carpaccio. 9, Florida. Question 10. The topic is hunting. This is our listener question of the week, which was won by Jace Jenkins for sending this great question. Jace is going to get a board game signed by the crew. If you want a chance to win our listener question of the week, then send your question to trivia@themeateater.com. And before I read it, Phil, give us one last scoreboard update.
Yeah, it's down to Randall and Brody. Brody just pulled ahead with that last answer. He's got 8 points, and Randall has 7.
Here's question 10. This subspecies of Argali sheep that's native to Central Asia is named after an Italian explorer. Brody is writing his
Game
answer
over, Randall.
with some confidence.
You
It
could have
seems
taken
as
that
though
a lot of different ways.
he's going to win. Randall and most of the room is confident in their answer here. This subspecies of Argali sheep that's native to Central Asia is named after an Italian explorer.
I feel to not be included in the word most.
Hanzi and Cory are not as confident.
Oh, no, I had an answer before you finished.
Oh, okay. So then
I don't know who you're talking to.
It's just Hanzi struggling with this one. Is everybody ready? Hanzi, you going to come up with an answer?
Easy type of sheep.
Type of sheep named after an Italian explorer.
It's a really fun game in the pool.
I was just going to say that.
Go ahead and reveal your answers.
Yes, Hanzi gets it.
Cal and Janis, the whole room says Marco Polo, and everybody got it right.
Hey.
Correct answer is Marco Polo.
Oh, well.
Marco Polo sheep are known for their giant horns and rugged home range. They are considered a near-threatened species, with population declines due to habitat loss from climate change and warfare. The sheep are named after Marco Polo because he documented them when crossing Mount Imian in 1271. To hunt a Marco Polo sheep, you'll need at least $50,000 for a tag and guide. Brody is our winner today with 9 correct answers. Brody, which one did you get wrong to cost you the perfect game?
Echidna.
Echidna. Couldn't come up with Echidna. So Brody gets to choose where the $500 donation from MeatEater goes. What's it going to be?
Cal, does Utah have a BHA chapter?
Yeah, Utah BHA is kicking ass right now.
Okay. So the Supreme Court just decided not to hear the case for the Utah land grab, but that doesn't mean it's not. That doesn't mean it's going to go away. So we'll donate it to Utah BHA so they can keep fighting that land grab effort.
Brody sending $500 their way, and we just covered that subject on the MeatEater.com about what's happening in Utah. Join us next week for more MeatEater Trivia, the only game show where conservation always wins.
Yeah, Spencer from South Dakota, he's the host. Using those smooth, mellow tones, he lays them questions down. And he likes taking those 2- and 3-year-old bucks. And he's an avid amateur rock